Hi, this is a replacement video for one that I put up last night. I've actually taken that one off of YouTube. I'm going to replace it with this one. But this is about a custom router fence that I'm building for my table saw. I've recently got a new cast iron insert or cast iron work surface for my table saw that accommodates a router lift, and I need to build a fence for it. And so I've spent some time the last couple of days with SketchUp designing a fence system. And basically this is what I came up with. It's a combination of things that I found online and a design that I saw by Norm Abrams, the new Yankee Workshop, several years ago. This is similar to those, but in the end will be custom to my table. Take a short look around it here a little bit, just in a few scenes, and then I'll talk about some of the features. This brown piece here will actually be the piece that will set on the cast iron surface. This runner here will be registered in an existing miter slot, and I need to determine this width so that I don't have any more or any less travel than I actually need. This will all be made out of 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood. A look at the back. Here you can see the opening that I'll set up to collect chips, wood chips as they come out of the router. Eventually this will be covered with 3 small pieces of masonite hardboard and a cutout put in it for a fitting to be hooked up to a vacuum. The mistake that I made in the design I had last night was I had a T-track on the bottom sections, and I realized that there was really no way that I was going to be able to connect that. So the revision I made tonight was to take that T-track out of the back of this piece right here and replace it with a routed slot. Then what I'll do is I'll connect these with bolts and wing nuts and washers on the back, and I'll be able to slide things around. I'll show that in a section. Last night I had a T-track installed in this workpiece right in here, and it actually woke me up in the middle of the night. I realized it wasn't going to work. And on the face, this is a permanent piece that will be bolted in most of the time. It has a T-track in it to provide somewhere to mount feather boards to hold the workpieces down. But then if I want to raise panels, I can take this piece out and put a taller fence piece in to run against the router. The way this is set up to work is that this piece slides in and out. There'll be room. There's room for about 4 inches of adjustment here, which should be more than enough to move this around and snug it up against the bit as needed. The key is to size this piece correctly, but once that's done, there's plenty of travel here. And then the other thing is these pieces on the fence, on the lower section, are actually also, they're sacrificial pieces that can be moved in and out, as you see here, to snug up to the bit. And where chip out is a problem, I'll simply move these real tight to the bit, where the bit will actually cut into this corner and prevent tear out of the pieces. It's a little bit offset. You'll notice these bolts, and this is, I can't center this because of the way this is fabricated. So what I've done here is I've offset them up on top, but I've created offsetting holes both in the top portion and the bottom portion so that I'll be able to rotate this and spin this around and basically sacrifice all 4 corners on each side, and if it comes to it, the 4 corners on the other side before it's time to rebuild these. all that's left to do now, I think, is to get the cast iron table surface mounted in the table saw and the lift installed, and then begin working on this. It's been a lot of fun actually designing this and getting it all set up. And as I said last night, if it doesn't work on my first try, well, I'll just tear it apart and rebuild it. It's really as simple as that. So thanks for looking. If you have any questions or any comments or any suggestions on how I might be able to improve this, I'm more than welcome to hear from you. Again, thanks for having a look. See ya.